Okay, so for today's class, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using a new function that's known as the VLOOKUP function. That's it right there. I'm going to highlight that. This is actually the finished product of what you guys are going to be working on today. And we're also going to be looking at, oops, sorry, I don't want to do that. We're also going to be looking at something that is known as an if statement. Okay, this is a big complicated one that I did. This is my nested if statement. But we're going to start off with a simple if statement. We're going to work up to the more complicated nested if statements. Okay, so here we go. This is, like I said, this is my finished product. And I will open up the file that I've given you guys. And your file will look something like this. I'm just going to expand it a little bit more so we can see more stuff. Okay, let's go up there. And great, that looks better. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to have a look at my instructions for today's class. So the first thing I want to do is, we've done this before, I'm going to merge and center cells A1 to H1. I'm going to change the font size, and I'm going to bold and underline that text that's in there. Okay, so don't forget, this is how we merge cells. So I want to merge and center A1 to H1. All right, so I click on A1, and then I just drag everything over to H1, and then I hit my old friend merge and center, and I want to change the font size to 20, and I want to bold that text, and I also want to underline it. So I clicked on the B there, and the U with the underline there, and once again I'm in the Home tab to do all of that. All right, so I'm just going to save that. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, make that a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to a topic known as data validation. Okay, this makes sure that only certain types of values or text or numbers are put into my Excel sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of these numbers here, so all of these cells from D4 all the way here to M7, I'm going to make sure that only numbers can be put into these cells, and only numbers from 0 to 100, because these are marks on tests that are from 0 to 100. So if you put anything else in these cells, like a letter or anything that's below 0 or anything that's over 100, it would obviously be a mistake. So I want to make sure that nobody can input anything in here other than just numbers that are from 0 to 100. So like I said, I've already highlighted my cells D4 down here to M7. Okay, now I'm going to click on the Data tab, and I'm going to go to Data Validation. And I will select Data Validation, and I get this box up here, my Data Validation box. Okay, so I'm in Settings. I'm going to stay in Settings. I'm going to select a whole number. Okay, and I want my data to be between 0 and 100. So yeah, we're only going to be able to input marks that are from 0 to 100. Okay, so I hit OK. And now I'm good. I can only input numbers that are from 0 to 100. Okay, so watch what happens. If I try to put in 900 in there, I'm going to get an alert. It says, hey, that doesn't match the data validation. You did something wrong. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that. And I'm just going to put 90 back. Okay, and I'm going to save that. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to use another formula. I'm going to figure out the average of every single student. Okay, so I've got Rupert Dingle, Betty Nee, Elsie Tree, and James Thomas. Okay, so under the average box, I'm now going to type in equals average. Okay, and I'm just going to select the cells that I want to use in my average. Okay, go back up to my formula bar here. I'm going to click on, I'm going to type, close parenthesis, okay, and then I hit enter. And great, I can see that. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm going to hit average here, okay, and I've got my average in there, okay. Now, I'm just going to expand all of that, or sorry, I'm going to autofill that, okay. So don't forget to autofill, because I could put in my formula here in each cell if I want to, but if I had, imagine if I had all of these cells to put that in, it would be a very long process, okay. So now what I'm going to do is, once my cursor is in the bottom right hand corner and it's a solid black cross like that, I just bring it down, autofill, and there we go. I've got the average for every single student there, okay, which is great. Okay, and the next thing I want to do, okay, I want to make sure that, oops, sorry, don't want that. So I just want to make sure that I'm going to change these averages. I'm going to round up these averages to a whole number. Instead of having decimals, I want it to be either 72 or 73, rounded up, whatever. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Okay, so like I said, I want to round up all of these numbers. So I'm going to select all of these numbers. And then I go into format cells. Okay, now, as you can see, it's now general. I don't want general. I'm going to select on number, okay? And I'm going to select here, down, and I have no decimal places. When I click on, you can see there, it rounded up all of my values. Anything that was over 0.5, it rounded up. Anything that was below 0.5, it rounded that down, okay? I'm going to save that as well. Okay. All right, that's enough for this video. The next one, I'm going to introduce the VLOOKUP function, because that's quite a complicated process, but I will show you that in the next video. Okay.